Hello, humans, peoples, others, patrons of my inn, and welcome back to another lore video. We're gonna be talking about the gods and stuff in my world. Maybe we'll get into major figures. My model won't be on while I talk about that. We might do a story or two of the gods, if I want to keep this under 15 minutes mostly. But, beyond that, everything else I save for the outro part, so, let's get on into the lore video. Alright, so we start, I'll explain with like how this is going to be formatted. So we start with the god's domain, and then their name, and then the animal that is like their symbol or their representative. So we start with, oh yeah, so it's like, we'll start with the first god of entertainment, Douglas the Peacock. He, the gods take aspects from their animals. So he might have like a peacock tail or the eye patterns. Really cool stuff. Then we have the goddess of victory, Vescale, the golden eagle. And then goddess of luck, Lusmira, the koi. She's really cool. You might have noticed in the last video, she has a country named after her because she's their patron god. Goddess cunning, plots, and trickery, Casalia, the fox. She does some interesting things. Goddess of freedom, Velenira, the breaker of bonds, she who walks unchained. She doesn't have a patron animal because she is completely free. She has no restrictions, nothing. She is just like the Ascendant of Freedom. We'll maybe get onto Ascendants this video as well. Like the Ascendant of Freedom, nothing can bind her. So she could take almost any form. You look at her once, then you look at her for a second time, completely different person, maybe. And then god of fire, destruction, and darkness. Phyloth, the salamander, or the dragon. All the elemental gods are dragons. They're true dragons in quotes because it's a whole thing involving dragons in my world. The true dragons left. The strongest of them became, or technically ascended, and they became the new gods of the elements. He just happens to now be the salamander because that's how humans saw him at first. And then we have god of death and decay, Gracil the vulture. He's the guy who goes around and he'd be responsible for people like dying. He is the concept of death and decay. We have the god of the dead and tragedies. He really likes poetry. He'd probably be friends with Douglas. He is Huroth the eel. Yeah. So he's the god of like the actual like the corpse, the soul after they die. And then we have goddess of wild nature, Zufre, the deer, and then god of tame nature, Diel, the ox. They're a pair. They stay together. Oh yeah, this next part, we have two gods at a time, technically. We have the god of time, pre-Aethorian invasion. That's a whole thing. I'm gonna write a story about that for eventually. Amserael, the crane. He was the original god of time. He was there since the very beginning. Then the Aethorian invasion happens. He gets killed. He dies somehow. And the Witch Queen, wanting the power but not wanting the responsibility, puts a puppet, created a person to take the power. She can control the person, though. The person is named Amorsael, and he's now represented by the egret, which is like a off-brand crane. Then we have the god of light, justice, war, valor, and kingliness, Aurelion the lion. You could probably be able to tell he's pretty much the god of heaven. He's the good god. Right after him, you have the god of treachery, poison, war, tyranny, and stuff like that. Vorak the viper. He is the evil god. He is not the god of hell, though. That would be the very next one. God of torture, indulgences, and sin, Patholak the centipede. Yeah. Oh, and then this one is based on a person from real life, technically. Very popular YouTuber. God of blood, anarchy, rage, and fallen kings, Nox, the wolf, or the pig. Then god of inspiration and rebellion, they shared the domain of music. Trevisel, the magpie. And then goddess of poetry, art, and parties, also shares the domain of music. Fergalia, the butterfly. Usually goddess of freedom, Valinira, would use the butterfly as her symbol as well. And then I should probably say where they reside, because this is one of the few planes I have written down. We have Valinira, Casalia, Alegnox, Trevisil, and Fergalia, living in the plane of, where is it? Elistra. It's like Elysium. Okay, and then we have God of Vengeance, Vulcan the Raven. My friend's responsible for that one, and I might replace him eventually. Then we have God of Storms and Electricity, Arathirth, the Flying Fish, less Stingray, or Dragon, because they are an elemental god. And then Goddess Carnage, Scarlet, the Panther. She's not from this world. She's from a different universe, holding. People can sometimes get in. It's really hard to get out of the universe. She's stuck, which is a good thing. She's really powerful. She does not have a plane she resides in. She's on the material plane. And then we have the god of water, the ocean, and rivers. Triseph, the shark, or the dragon, because they're an elemental god. Goddess of snow and ice, Erenia, the bunny, or dragon, because elemental god. Goddess of wind and travel, Polireth, the horse, or dragon, because elemental god. And then goddess of rocks, earth, and the lava, Crevice. I had to cut recording, so I messed with my flow. We were on the goddess of rock, earth, and lava, Crevice, the ant, or the dragon, because elemental god still. She's the last elemental god I have for now. She is the ant for a very important reason. It's because, like rocks, ants are kind of pathetic by themselves. But when there's a bunch of them, yeah, it's kind of fun. And then we have the god of metal and forging, Dressiel, the snail. Really like the animal that the snail is based on, because lava snails are cool. They work with Crevice. And then we have goddess of day and the sun and truth, Pronia, and settling, Halias, the cassowary. And then you have the god of night, the moon, spying, paranoia, and travelers, Nithran, the spider. And that is the last of the gods. So, I don't know. That's, I guess, it for now. I'll have enough time for important figures, I guess, so we'll go over that. Maybe I'll bring up my map to show where the important figures are from. So yeah, on to that. Alright, so here we are. This is a drawable map now, so I can write on it. So we're starting with Queen Elvira Volkova, Queen of Volksamok, which is about here-ish. Well, technically it extends up here, so that's about where its region is. That's her domain. And then we have Averu Stayhold, Witch Queen. She's everywhere. Wherever she wants. She usually stays all around this continent, though. So yeah. And then we have Dark Prince Zadicus, Ascendant of the Hells. We'll explain Ascendants and stuff later, and I'll give a full list. He was also the Prince of Lusmere twice, because he died, so he's there. But So, Dark Prince Atticus, he lived 500 years ago, before the second ascension. So, he ascended during the first ascension, became the ascendant of the Hells, disappeared. Technically, he died, but he forced reincarnated himself 500 years in the future, or he's truly killed. Don't know where the ascendant powers are for Hell, though. So that's why he was the Prince of Lusmere then. And then, when he reincarnated. Then we have... She has two names, so... Give me a moment to think. We have... So, this character I made first. This was the first character I made. Stole her name. So her original name was Malekek. Changing it to... Elistara. So her name would be Elistara Elise. So, whole lore thing, I, as the innkeeper, am almost like a body double for her. Which is neat. And then we have... she's the Blade of Freedom, Ascendant of Elysium. Or whatever it's called in this. I forgot. Where is it? Where are my planes? Elistra. She resides in Lusmere. She is in the city... in my inn. Technically it's her inn. I just act as like a barkeep, but I'm the owner. Then the Divine King, King of Loria. He resides here. This is where Loria is. Very powerful guy. He's the second most powerful non-god. Elistara being first, and Witch Queen being... Elistara being third, Witch Queen being first. Despite her not being an ascendant. And then we have Captain Morley Quickhand Link. This is the Pirate Republic area, mostly. They are everywhere, but that's its main region. He's everywhere, but he is a pirate lord in the Pirate Federation. Lusmero, Crown Prince of Lusmere. It's a tradition in this country, or in the kingdom, to name their crown prince, or the next in line. So their firstborn male, Lusmero. So you have King Lusmero and Prince Lusmero. Usually. So he also resides there. He was the one Atticus was trying to keep away while he was being evil. Then we have Janoth the Insane, Ascendant of the Abyss. She ascended in the first ascension. Whole history thing I need to make a separate video for. She is stuck on this continent, but you'll notice almost everything's on that continent. There is one kitsune on this continent who I have important stuff for. And Fenrir was brought over there, but that's a whole thing. So we start with the fact that Janoth, she's weird, she's cool, traumatized for the past 500 years. Well, 600 years now. So she has no control over her power. But she is still herself, which is different compared to most who don't have control over their power. So what happens is sometimes the Abyss will take over her body, force her into a demonic form, open a portal to the Abyss, summon a ton of demons into the world. She's traumatized. But then next we have two deaths. We have Death as Guidance, and Death as a Warmonger. So they're twins of one of the planes of death from the first ascension. First one, the Guidance one, is just a youngish woman going around. She guides souls to the afterlife. The other one, full like a Grim Reaper garb, goes around slaughtering by the thousands. Or, I guess, hundreds for now. Then we have poor King Aruthar, the nationless king. He's here. And he has been there for the past 500 years, because he's a hubris-filled dark. He's the ascendant of the plane of ice. Oh, he's also the former king of Grasfilch. That's what the kingdom that was in this, and that's a car, if you can hear that. I'm gonna close my window. I'd cut that out, but I don't want to. Alright, so his kingdom was here till it collapsed because he died. Technically, he's not dead, but he was there. He's in. The red spot right here was his capital city. It is now a pit with the ruins of his capital city, where he's stuck forever till someone kills him. And then we have Tadran, the dancing flame. She lives here. This is more of a desert country. She's the leader of a troop, like a circus troupe almost. She's the ascendant of the plane of fire from the first ascension, so she's really old, like every other ascendant other than Elistara. And the Shark Sage, the Shark Sage, I don't have her on my list, but she lives here in a small fishing village. It's a whole thing. But then next we have Waste, the Green Blaze, powerful old mage who graduated from the Athorian Spire. She's a witch. She lives in the kingdom of Volxamok, so up here area. We have Irgithor, the Archmage of Lusmere. Lithvir, the Perch of the Crow's Nest. It's like a secret assassins organization. The Crow's Nest. The Perch is their leader. Then we have Igdalis, the Crown of the Court of the Enlightened. That's also technically a secret organization. It is more like, pretty much it's an intellectuals guild. They think they're better than everyone else, and they hate the Witch Queen. They're not having a great time. But yeah, so that is the end of that list as well. So I believe that should be the end for this video. We'll see. But yeah, see you in the outro probably. And welcome to the outro. It's long enough back there. Well, so probably next time I'll do a whole rundown on what ascendants are and what they're about. If I do another lore video, I probably will. Been writing a book about Captain Morley Link, though. He's cool. So yeah. Like, subscribe, whatever, comment something like who your favorite god was. Join the Discord if you want. I think it would be cool. Still need to set stuff up there for that, because I'm not lazy, but I'm certainly something with that. Let's see. Anything else other than what I've already said? Hope you enjoyed. If I haven't already said that. I really need a voice training. It's gonna make editing this real hard, but yeah. So, hope you enjoyed. I don't know what else to say. Bye.